Am I on? Okay. Hey everyone, it's Melissa. Thanks for joining me today. So I'm making this video instead of in the morning when I first get up and I'm like, hey guys, I just got up. I'm actually trying to be a little more professional and talk about things when I'm more ready. So this, it's like 2-ish around here right now. So I made a call to a pregnancy center in Florida. Florida is where there's a lot going on right now with policies about, the 6-week ban, etc. So as I called a pregnancy center, one of the things we are seeing is pregnancy centers are trying to grow. They're trying to grow, they're trying to improve, they're trying to look at the, as you have people who are in the position of development, they're looking around, they're navigating, they're saying, what can we do better? How can we help people more? And this pregnancy center, which I was impressed with, has, they have post-abortive counseling for couples. So they just had their gala, and they had this guy approach them and say, I want to get help for my wife and I. It's been 30 years, and we have never talked about this. So they had an abortion. The first abortion was forced upon the girl by her parents. Very common, very, very common. I don't know why we're not talking about this more. But the second one, because they already had one, the second one was easier to do, right? Once you have one abortion, luckily I only had one, it was forced on me. But for some people, it's 2 or 3 abortions because they already had one. You're knocked down in that position of shame and guilt, and you're down low. So it's easy with your boundaries down to end up being talked into having another one and another one. So they were teens and they had another abortion, and after 30 years, they never talked about it. Holy cow, right? 30 years as a couple and you're not talking about it. I know for me, over 30 years ago with a forced abortion, I lived as if I didn't just lose a child. I lost a child. I lost something very precious. And it was done in a way that was like, oh no, that was just a blob of tissue. That was just an abortion. There's nothing to talk about. There's just go on with life, right? So, I've talked about the abortion. I've talked about the loss. I'll continue talking about this because it is so important that women be able to talk about this. On Facebook, I joined a couple groups where women are actually willing to come out and talk about their abortions and help other women, because for so long it's been like the scarlet letter, right? Like, we don't talk about this in church, we don't talk about this. And it is the biggest way the enemy beats people down because it's not talked about. So this couple actually took counseling together, and then this pregnancy center was saying they saw a couple other people take the couple class together. So that's a newer thing. Sometimes we usually see the woman signing up for a post-abortive class, and then sometimes a pregnancy center will have something for men, but now it's for couples. So I was really impressed with this. They had like 1,400 pregnancy tests at their center come in. They do see some women signing up, but then they change their mind and they don't want to go through with the post-abortive class. It is really hard to talk about it, right? When you start talking about it and the truth starts coming out and you are starting to live in reality, you're not like, oh, there was just an abortion, sweep it under the rug and pretend it never happened. It's like your whole entire worldview changes because you're like, holy cow, we had a baby together, and it's just very different. And I think she was saying that they've had a dry season where some women were not signing up, but the people who did take Surrendering the Secret, that's the curriculum I'm seeing a lot of pregnancy centers use now. They have said how valuable it is. And I really think it's important. My channel's talking about mothering in a million ways. I talk about, finding ways financially to make it your ways with your hands, how to have children. I've talked about hospital births a little bit, home birthing a little bit. But I think what's really important is to mother women out of abortion, to mother them and help heal them from abortion. They do have a podcast somewhere, this center where a woman had a vision with her whole household of teenagers to be able to teach parents how to teach your kids to be pro-life. And I think the big responsibility lies on the parents of, teaching your kids, hey, if you don't want to, if you don't want to get pregnant, the condom is not 100% safe. Many times the parents are battling the school system because the school system will teach one thing and the home teaches another. When I was growing up, my home was pretty much the center. It wasn't the schools, it was my home. And when you aren't taught things, you are going to have to figure it out somewhere else. Years ago, we had, society. If you missed it at home, you got it somewhere. Nowadays, we're seeing, there's no, for the most part, unless you live in a small community, there's like no place for kids to fall back on if they're making wrong decisions. So, they have a podcast. What else? They have a lot. They're really helping people. They're also looking to grow and add counseling into the normal, curriculum of what they do because they're seeing so many people that cannot break these cycles. So once you start a cycle, it is very difficult to break. You have to have enough community and enough changes in your life to break the cycles of continued abortions. So hats off to this pregnancy center. Very impressed with them. And we need to start doing more. I just talk to some homeless people. I do that and I see what they do. And again, we need more help for people to be able to help people, live better lives, get back to the basics of how things used to be, and really help people not to suffer alone with abortion and what they're going through. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.